So there's been a lot going on with this Destiny drama about how so many players want to continue the saga of Destiny, and I don't blame them. Destiny also holds a special place in my heart as I played it at its inception and just love the concept overall. But there have been plenty of articles talking about this whole issue, the petition that's been signed by so many players, and some insider information that I want to get into. Because over 300,000 people have signed this petition asking Sony to greenlight Destiny 3, but got no announcement at the State of Play, which was a couple of days ago. If you didn't know, Sony acquired Bungie for a hefty amount of money and pretty much are sitting on Destiny 3. There are no plans of making it at all, so fans are asking what is going to happen with it. According to a Bloomberg journalist named Jason Schreier, Bungie hasn't greenlit any game for the Destiny 2 team to pivot to after content updates for the long-running shooter, and never mind Destiny 3, the studio is reportedly hearing pitches for new projects, which may or may not take place in the Destiny universe. Now, to me, I think that they bet on the wrong horse. Marathon, trying to build that up as the next big thing, categorized as an extraction shooter. There won't be a strong enough player base to justify a game replacing something like Destiny. And just for some context, Jason Schreier is one of the most well-known investigative journalists in the gaming industry. And he explained all of this stuff himself as he started his YouTube career from journalism. He spent years at Kotaku before moving to Bloomberg, where he's built a reputation for reporting on what's happening behind the scenes at major studios. He's also written books like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels and Press Reset, which focus on how games are actually made and why so many projects struggle. One of the things Schreier has been talking about recently is why modern AAA games take so long to make, specifically within the conversation of why Destiny 3 probably won't be a thing. Because what used to take 2 or 3 years can now take 5, 6, or even 7 years. Teams are larger, worlds are bigger, technology is more demanding, and developers spend years building, testing, and even rebuilding systems before players ever see them. I remember when I was playing Destiny 1 a long time ago, and we used to explore the moon, farming for helium filaments. I remember the days of the Suros regime and the Mida multi-tool. A lot of my favorites from back in the day. The game has evolved way further than what I'm talking about, but I just remember farming the moon and traversing that predestined path. You could not go outside of those bounds. I remember I was playing with a friend and I was just looking into the distance of the moon and telling myself, I want to go there. When if you do cross the boundaries, you end up dying. It just left so much to be desired, especially with the sparrows. I thought that we'd be able to explore the moons and the other planet areas in a more vast manner. I'm saying this to say that if they were to come up with a Destiny 3, something like this could be a desirable feature, more open world areas. It's just so many aspects of gaming that need to be involved and require way more resources and a lot more money. That's why the Destiny 3 conversation is more complicated than a lot of people realize. Even if Sony woke up tomorrow and decided Destiny 3 was happening, that doesn't mean players would be getting it anytime soon at all. Because based on the timeline Schreier has discussed regarding modern AAA development, a project on that scale could still be years away depending on when development actually even starts. And I think that's where this petition becomes interesting, because the community is saying we want Destiny 3. The reality is, even if Sony agrees, game development doesn't move at the speed of community demand. We know that from experience. And that's not a Destiny problem, that's an industry problem. Modern games are taking longer and costing more than ever before. Development teams are larger, expectations are higher, and players want bigger worlds, as I was saying, more content, better graphics. I mean, this just is the normalcy of what comes with the expectations of gaming, and not to mention the content updates that naturally comes with live service games. All of that costs. So when people see over 300,000 signatures and ask whether this could lead to Destiny 3, I think the answer is actually two separate questions. Can this movement influence Sony? Possibly. Can this movement suddenly make Destiny 3 arrive in the next year or two? Most likely not. Even still, the story is fascinating, because if they can pull this off, this would make history. Nothing like this has ever happened before. It would be a great thing, to be honest. Because even though they're asking for a Destiny 3, what they're really asking for is commitment. They don't want this thing to be lost. I think they're saying they want a future, at least a future for Destiny that feels bigger than what we're currently seeing. And whether Sony listens to it or not is one conversation. Whether Sony can realistically deliver something like Destiny in a reasonable time frame is something else. So it was wildly wishful thinking to imagine that Sony would surprise us all with the Destiny 3 announcement at its State of Play showcase the other day, and as expected, it did not do that. But it still didn't stop fans from shouting #We want Destiny 3 in the chat for the duration of the stream. And this was actually started by Brandon O'Neill, the voice of the Crow from Destiny. He officially rallied the player base to use the #We want Destiny 3 ahead of Destiny 2's final content updates and server closures. And I think that was pretty cool.
Good evening, Guardians. This is the Crow. I know that over the years we have asked you time and time again to lay your lives on the line for the Vanguard, for the city, for hope. And we're asking you one more time to gather together at the Tower on June 9th for one final update in Destiny 2. So from the Vanguard, officially you are charged to meet us there and make magic happen one more time. On a personal note, the actor Brandon O'Neill wants to thank you for all of the years that you have supported me and supported my journey as Crow, as Uldren and Crow. And maybe as a little extra, if you're posting about Destiny 2 in any way, how about a little #We want Destiny 3? I wouldn't mind the employment. I hope to see you Starside. All the best, Guardians.
Also, the legendary tribute of the iconic Lance Reddick, the voice of Zavala, pulled on a lot of people's heartstrings, including mine. So many of these moments etched in the memory of this game and what it represents. A lot of it carries so much history that could be a part of justifying creating. But we know at the end of the day, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense on the money side of things, it's not going to be made ultimately. So who knows what's going to happen? We'll see. Anyways, I just wanted to share this information with you and talk about a little bit of it from a perspective you may not have heard. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And if you want Destiny, you should also comment in this video, #We want Destiny 3. It would be a cool concept because Destiny as a whole has been etched in the history books of the gaming archives. Something that's pretty much irreplaceable. Carved out a huge part in my life before I moved over to the game that I play right now. And something that actually would be healthy for the gaming community, especially with a different perspective of a Destiny 3 coming out. All right, fam, that'll do it for this one. I appreciate you watching me to the end. Like the video if you enjoyed this conversation and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.